So far, we've talked about how minerals can be used by us, right? How what ores contain what elements, how we can use those to create metals or drilling muds or abrasive things like that. But there's a whole other side to this, and it's not how we can use these minerals, it's how these minerals affect our health that we also have to be thinking about. Right? So our bodies and our well-being are intimately related to earth materials. Right? When you think of a lot of environmental problems, right, you think of how the air affects us, how the soil affects us, how the water affects us. Well, all of that is a part of geology, right? So geology can absolutely and does have an effect on our everyday health. Right? The easiest way to think about this is that our bodies have to take in material, right? We breathe the air, we drink the water, we eat the food. So everything we are putting into our body is part of the earth cycle, right? How old material is incorporated into something new. So the bones in our body, the muscles in our body, the skin in our body, all of that material comes from the energy we get from food. And food comes from the soil, right? Humans derive energy from food. Food ultimately comes from vegetation, right? Whether it's vegetation or not, what you're eating probably ate vegetation. And because the vegetation grows in soil, the elements, the nutrients within it also comes from the soil. So anytime you eat, you are, you know, indirectly eating the elements that came out of the soil. Right? So what goes into our soil is very important. And because humans are constantly taking nutrients out of the soil as we grow food and we eat food, we also have to put those nutrients back into the soil. Pretty much every fertilizer you can get will have three numbers on it, N, P, and K. The N stands for nitrogen, P is for phosphorus, K is for potassium, and those are three of the main nutrients that need to be in our soil to grow food. Not the only three, but the three main ones. And you could have guessed it, right? But every single one of these elements has to be gathered from a geologic material. So most nitrogen is obtained from ammonia and nitrate salts. Phosphorus is mined from sedimentary phosphorite deposits. Potassium is obtained from evaporite deposits that contain potassium salts, like the mineral sylvite. Right? So we take nutrients out of the ground through agriculture, through eating food. We have to put those nutrients back into the ground by mining something somewhere else and moving it to the depleted soil. Right? But as we keep doing this, right, many soils are becoming depleted in the trace elements. We're putting back nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, but not a lot of the trace elements, the ones that are, not as important, but still important in small quantities, such as zinc. So a lot of our soils are becoming very deficient in zinc, and this is identified as the cause of one of the world's most serious dietary problems. And it's thought that at least a quarter of the world's population is at risk of a zinc deficiency. So get y'all zinc.